Hello and welcome back to the S.H.E Gallery Show Season 3. Thank you for being with us tonight. We are here with our guest, S.H.E. Lisa, thank you so much for being with us.
Yeah, I'm really excited to be here, Dulce.
Thank you. And you are live with us on CAN TV. Please remember that you can join us. You can call us at 312-738-1060. That number is found on the screen throughout the entire segment. We encourage you to call us with questions, and you can always link up with us directly through our website at sharinghisenergygallery.net. You can always email us, you can always call us. If you have a story to tell, if you want to get involved, whatever it is that you would like, we'd love to hear from you. So, we have a really, really special segment today. S.H.E is an artist that has worked with S.H.E Gallery for a long time, actually since the beginning. And not only is she an artist that has worked with S.H.E Gallery for a long time, she is part of what started S.H.E Gallery for me. She was definitely a big part of my journey. As we mentioned before, I started S.H.E Gallery out of these series of dreams that led me to the University of Chicago with the Continuing Graham program with the Hyde Park Art Center. And the first module that I took at the Hyde Park Art Center for the Business for Arts was writing. And S.H.E was one of the students that sat there with me, and together we learned, and together we grew, and together we keep on growing. So thank you for that.
Yeah, that was, it was a great experience for both of us. I think we were both coming into it really kind of new to the field, and we learned a lot. It was great to have such a supportive group of people around us. So
yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So Lisa, why don't you talk to us a little bit more about you and your art itself? So you worked with us for Celebrity Memoirs, and then you worked with us Solar System, and a lot of Lisa's work is it's a lot of drawing, and then that's what I thought, right? That's what I thought. And then I get to my sculpting class, and I see her building like this human body, and I'm like, oh, I don't know Lisa at all. So there's many, many, many different forms of art that Lisa makes. You make installation work and other types of work. Can you please talk to us about you as an artist, how long you've been an artist, and what inspires you?
So, it's really interesting because when I first started doing art classes, I was really focused on drawing and painting, just like you said. And but the kind of further I got into it, the more I started to think of myself as an artist and less about being a certain kind of artist, and that those ended up being more the tools that I needed to express whatever it was that I wanted to express. So if I as you said, when you came in and saw that I was working on things in the ceramic studio, I had this idea that I wanted to make a sculpture of my daughter's body. And she was about 10 years old at the time. And I was really struggling with this idea of how we feed our children all of this sugar and a lot of things that are really bad for them, rather than giving them things that are really healthy. And I was trying to... that they're experiencing that in all these different ways. And I kind of felt like we're killing our children. So I had this image of like a full-size, life-size sculpture of my daughter on the ground, like drowning under a sea of sugar. And so it wasn't something that I could do with a drawing or a painting. It had to be... I felt that it had to be, in order for it to be like really visceral, right? Like so that you could really feel it, it would have to be like really life-size. Yeah. So I actually made a cast of my daughter's body. I wrapped her in duct tape. This sounds really strange. I wrapped her body in duct tape really, really tightly. And then I kind of cut it off of her, and then I stuffed it. And what I ended up with was like a kind of torso from the neck to the hips, and then I made ceramic arms and legs and a head for her, but it was kind of disconnected as well, so they were in pieces. So
it's really strong. That's powerful. I wish we had an image, but we'll share it later if you'd like. So please remember that you can always reach our guest here today and all of our previous guests directly on our website as well. So you can always link up with Lisa. So we actually have here an example of Lisa's work, though, and this is probably like one of my favorite series of her work. It's interesting how she's talking about focusing on being a kind of artist. I think that sometimes you can look at an artist's work and say so and so did that. and that's cool. You develop your signature. And then there's some people that change as they change. Their work changes with them. And hopefully we're all evolving. And it's really nice when you see the work evolving with the artist. And then you still see a little bit of the artist in there, like the core of the artist. So that's really special, and that's what I think makes Lisa's work so authentic. You feel it. Her drawings are amazing, and you're going to see some of them on our website if you visit them. And she does a lot of installation work that's really powerful. And her words are really powerful too. Her poetry. So, Lisa, do you want to talk to us about this series here that we have here that we're going to show you right now?
Yes.
Our president right now. Some of our presidents.
Yeah, so it's interesting. Today is the day that we're having the first State of the Union address. We're 1 year into this presidency, and a year ago I walked into the ceramics studio and I said to another artist, Rodrigo Lara, that I really wanted to make a brick with Trump's head in it that I could hit against something really hard because I was so angry. And so he said, we can do that. And so I've been working with him for the past year on making this series of bricks. And I started out by making a mold, and they were going to be all the same. But I think what happened over the course of the year is that I've had so many emotions, and so many things have happened. Every day you would be kind of stunned that something else had happened, whether it was the Muslim ban or like not, wanting to have any transgender in the military, or, it just seemed to go on. And so
very dehumanizing America.
Yeah. And so what ended up happening is that I've been making these bricks, and I've started changing them, kind of depending on what's going on at a certain point of time. So this first one here, it says lies, lies, lies coming out of it. And often I'll have the date on them about whatever is happening at the time that something is going on. And this one, I don't know if you can see, but he says, let's see, punch me down at the bottom. And what's interesting about making this work is that I think half of it for me was having conversations with people about it. And that people would come into the studio and they would be kind of shocked to see that I was spending all of this time focusing so closely on Trump's face. And that is a bit difficult because he makes me so angry, but to spend all that time
let's see if we could show this a little bit better. Punch me? Okay.
So...
these are great, and there were a few. So there's not just these. I had the chance to look at to laugh actually at more of these images. How many of these did you do?
I have 53 right now. I've been.
Why 53? Is there a significance to the number?
There wasn't exactly a significance. Part of it was that I thought I would do 50. But I also wanted to get to the point where I was kind of emotionally ready to stop making them. And it took a long time. It took most of last year for me to get to the point where I was like, okay, I can stop making these bricks and kind of move on. Like, I've been able to process some of the emotions around what's going on. And it's not that I'm done being upset, but it's that this way of kind of dealing with it I've finished with in a way. And so...
And that's really important. The reason that artists make art, the reason that people make art is to heal. The reason that people write in a journal is because it's personal and it helps you heal. A lot of people make art and don't share it. Does that not make them an artist? I don't know. Maybe it doesn't matter. Maybe it's not about being an artist. Maybe it's just about healing and expressing yourself. And if somebody else can find some common ground to that, then I think you're a great artist. Thank you. You've had the chance to show these at the museum. And what else would you like to do with these?
Well, I have a few things that I want to do with them. I've been... originally what I wanted to do was to break them, to just destroy them, because that was part of it, or just, and so I actually talked to a lot of people about like ways that I might do that. People were like, run over them with the car, drop them off a building, throw them in the lake. You know, there are lots of, because people, what I found is that people also, when they saw them, they had a lot of emotions
Exactly.
about them, and they wanted to, they really wanted to do something with them. So part of it is I'm still exploring that idea and figuring out how can I give people the chance to interact with them in a way that gives them a chance to work out their
So why
emotions.
don't you guys give us an email, give us a shout on She Gallery, and let us know what you would like for Lisa to do with these bricks.
That would be great. I would love to have
You guys
some
want
input on that.
to do that? So we're doing this together. We're not out here to say, "Oh, we're so great," and da 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 da. We want you to be a part of what we're doing. We need you to be a part of what we're doing because we are doing it for you. So we need your thoughts. We need your input. So please let us know what you would like us to do with these bricks. And I say we because we're going to support you no matter what. So Lisa is special because she makes beautiful art, but she also makes really important art. She's an artivist. And then you also are very involved with the community, and especially in the Hyde Park art community. So as I mentioned earlier, this is where I learned, this is where She Gallery was, the thoughts, the ideas, the seeds were in the center. It was in an art center. And it felt really good to be part of the Hyde Park Art Center, part of a center where people are there to learn and grow together, where everybody feels weird, but we all feel weird together. So then we all open up and say, oh, okay, we're not so weird. And if we are, then so is the rest of the world. And it's a beautiful nonprofit that the University of Chicago supports. And then Lisa is so much involved in the community that she's also helped to bridge the Hyde Park Art Center with other communities. So please talk to us about your role, your personal role with the Hyde Park Art Center, and what it is that's going on with the Hyde Park Art Center right now that is also networking with other fields that are also helping to heal.
So I started at the Art Center as a student, and it took me a few years before I realized that they also had gallery space, they have room for artist studios, they have artists in residence that come in, and they do a lot of outreach to the public school system. So they have a huge, I think, something like 240 students a term that they are able to work with. They have teachers that go into the schools. They have schools, buses full of kids that come to the art center and get some art exposure that they're not getting in the school. So there's a lot of really great things happening there. But some of the other things that I'm also doing, I'm working with the Hyde Park Refugee Project, which has been sponsoring Syrian refugee families to come to Chicago and settling in that neighborhood.
That's really special.
It's been incredibly rewarding,
I can
and
imagine.
it's been kind of the other half of my art practice in a sense. Like, this is dealing with my kind of political struggles. But that has been a way for me to kind of like reach out and really feel like I'm making a difference in the community. And so, in fact, we've been able to bring some of the members of the refugee families to the art center to work in the ceramics room.
It's amazing.
And that, I mean, I think giving them a chance to work in clay, to express themselves is really important. They've often had incredibly traumatic experiences before they've come here. So making them feel like they're part of the community and that they have this chance to, even subconsciously, I think when you put your hands in clay and you start doing something, like something happens to your body where you do start expressing some of those things.
Yeah,
So
you're no longer working with yourself and you're really healing.
So, and right now we're partnering with the Howard Brown Health Center, which has just opened a new clinic on the South Side. It's the first one that they've opened on the South Side of Chicago.
Wow.
And They're a really special health organization because they specifically aim to work with populations that are at risk, that are more vulnerable. They work with people who are living with AIDS. They work with the transgender folks. Most of their patients tend to be between the ages of 17 and 27, so the youth population. They give them a place where they can feel really comfortable to come and get health services. And they also never turn anyone away because of ability to pay. So they have, sliding scale. If you're uninsured, they work with you. If you're insured, they work with you. They're a really great organization, and we're really glad to be having them down in Hyde Park now. So
when Lisa talked to me about this project, the Howard Brown Center has networked with Hyde Park Art Center to bring some art into their new center for Hyde Park artists to bring in some art into the Howard Brown Center, and I looked into the Howard Brown Center, and I smiled. My heart smiled. It made me feel really, really proud of all of the humans that are moving forward to help people not feel like they're not people because of their color or because of their love choice or because their parents didn't love them or because they felt like their parents didn't love them or because they felt like there was not a place for them. S.H.E Gallery was built on that foundation. S.H.E Gallery was built on rejection. S.H.E Gallery was built on there's no space here for you. You don't have a degree. You don't have this. Your art's not cool. It's not trendy. S.H.E Gallery was built for people that didn't have a place. And S.H.E Gallery still doesn't have a place, but we're still moving. And that's important. So it kind of gives you the value of a human. And that's what's most important, is to value yourself and to build your self-esteem. Because, and I'm just going to go over to why this is so important. This man here does not have self-esteem. Had this man had self-esteem, he would not have to filter in all of this to feed his ego. I don't know anybody that I feel more sorry for than this man and the people of America that have voted for this man, because all he's doing is try to cover up his insecurities. He's an insecure little man. So it's important for us to value ourselves as human beings so that we can be the righteous leaders. So we can teach our children to be correct leaders. And building the self-esteem, building this foundation is really, really important. So when you have somebody that has health issues and they have nowhere to go, how far is their path gonna go? And then you have a place like Howard Brown Center that says, you fit here, that esteem is gonna go, they're gonna go there, they're gonna see the art, they're gonna say this is beautiful and I belong and I'm gonna do this, and they're gonna grow. And that might be the next president without any insecurities. That's actually thinking about America and not themselves. This isn't The Apprentice. This isn't a You're Fired show. This is America. This is real. And these are real people. And it needs to come from the real people that understand the ground. These are the grassroots. So Howard Brown Center is doing this, and I'm so glad that they're doing this. I'm obviously very passionate about it. And I love what Hyde Park Art is doing. I mean, they built these relationships. This is why we're here. This is why you're here. This is why S.H.E Gallery. This is why we're at Can TV. Because of these nonprofits, because of Can TV, because of S.H.E Gallery, because of Howard Brown Center, because of Hyde Park Art Center, we need more of these organizations. We need more of these places to give more people a place to feel like they belong. And I'm talking too much, I'm so sorry. But
no, I think it's really important. It is. Yeah.
How was it that the Howard Brown Center linked up with Hyde Park Art Center? Or is just something that's going on within the Hyde Park community?
You know, they came to Hyde Park. They just opened at the end of last year, and
So it is open and running right now. If you guys want to look,
it's open, absolutely, and. They had this idea that they wanted to partner with the community, that they wanted to kind of both reach out and support artists in the community, but also hopefully make it a way to invite people in that, like, through this collaboration, more people would know about the Howard Brown Health Center there and would then take advantage of it. And so that's really part of what we're trying to do we're having a show there, we're going to have an opening there, and we're going to be inviting the community in to get to know the artist's work, but also the Howard Brown Health Center, and to know what a great resource this is for the community.
And really quickly, I know we're winding down. Let's talk a little bit about some of the artists that are going to be showcased during this. Okay, so it's the Hyde Park Art Center. They're bringing in, they have a lot of different rooms. There's a lot of different space there. And then we're bringing in artists from the Hyde Park Art Center into that community. And that's how I learned about it, because Lisa actually invited me to be a part of that. So you guys will actually get to see my work. It's going to be there. I don't know if I've ever talked about me being an artist, but I'm an artist as well. And it's helped me heal, and I'm really excited to showcase this. And then I was really excited to see some of the other artists that were on the roster that I've also grown with at the Hyde Park Art Center that are extremely soulful and really talented. So let's talk a little bit about who's involved here.
We have about 12 artists who are going to be involved, and we're going to be hanging their work in the spaces you would imagine having at a health center. So the exam rooms and the interview room and the hallways and the waiting room. We have, all of the artists are people who have been taking classes or participating in programs at the Art Center over the years. The oldest student artist is about 83, and her name is Gloria Carrig, and she is fantastic. So we're really looking forward. She's doing some oil paintings. We have photography. We have your work, which is going to be kind of mural graffiti on one of the long walls. So decorating the large hallway of the health center. We have some weavings. I'm actually putting in some welcome rugs that I've made for the Syrian refugee families. Nice. So, and those were made all with like donated fabric from people and their stories woven into them, welcoming them. So yeah, so we're having lots of things like that. I'm just looking at my list here. We've got printmaking work by Liz Bourne, who is a print artist who runs an artist print shop here in Pilsen. It's called the Hoof Print Gallery, actually. And yeah, I mean, we have a pretty big range of people, actually, so it's great. We have also Michelle Nordmeyer, who is a printmaker who has a background in mindfulness and meditation.
Michelle is great. She's also a volunteer with the Sweetwater Foundation, which is also a nonprofit. Yeah, she does a lot with the Hyde Park. I didn't mean to cut you off.
That's great. She also does a lot of. She does printmaking. For example, so at the Women's March this past, was it 2 weeks ago? She had made posters for people to take. So if you stop by the art center, you could pick up a poster on your way to the Women's March. So there's a lot of that, like really supportive, like politically engaged, but also like towards mindfulness and healing. Like,
and that's important at an institution like that. So you think of when you go to the doctor. Think about when you go to the doctor. Usually you're sitting there, you don't want to be there. Nobody wants to be at the doctor for no reason. Maybe if you had a baby, maybe not even then because it's so painful. Maybe the visitors. I don't know any other reason why you'd want to be at the doctor unless you enjoy going to the dentist. I don't know, but it sucks. Nobody likes to go to the doctor. So you're sitting in a room and you're waiting. And wouldn't it be nice to look at something like inspiring and that's going to make you zone into maybe something else? Maybe you think, oh, maybe I can do that. Or I like that. Or that reminds me of this. Or what does that say? It takes your mind somewhere else.
I think that's really important. Actually distracting yourself, sometimes.
From where you're at. What if you hear really bad news? You're going to get angry. You can go home and make some art. Release that tension. Release in a creative way. Because if you do not release in a creative way, you will release in a non-creative way. And usually those releases involve alcoholism, involve drugs, involve frustration, involve violence. Yeah. So if we're mindful of alternative ways to express ourselves, whether it's pretty or not, let it out. journal, free write, express yourself in a very healthy way. And that's the importance of art and healing in these partnerships. And we really encourage you to speak up. I think that's been the problem with America. So speak up. If you don't speak to us, just speak.
Right? And
Your voice matters.
I was just going to say exactly that one of the things about this presidency is that it has inspired a lot of people to come out and do
You gotta look
positive
at that
things.
silver lining. And
So-
that's what I'm grateful for. People are finally taking notice, and children want to be involved in politics. So we want to see your kid running. Thank you so much for being with us. Thank you, Lisa, for being with us. We'll see you again next week.
Thanks.
Thanks.